hands as we're going to go through the top 10 worst movies of 2021. Oh my God. Oh my God. There was some doozies. And it's probably some I've probably forgotten. Now, I don't like to grab movies that didn't have a big budget, straight to DVD type movies, because they know they're bad. those films to me shouldn't be on the list because they know they're bad. Right off the gate, they know they're bad. So we kick the list off right away with some of the most god awful movies of 2021. And Matrix, what is this called? Revolution, Revival, or whatever it's called. It should be called Why the Hell We Made This Movie. I think that's why I went straight to HBO Max. If people would have went to the movies to see this, they've been ready to choke someone. That's right, the new edition of The Matrix. It was god awful. It was more confusing and so chopped up and incomplete and convoluted, trying to cover all of these genres in one stanza and trying to make every social political thing relevant. No, some things was just not made to be a sequel, and The Matrix has proven that. They've been worse and worse and worse, each one they make. It's like you don't need to keep making Matrix films. That's stealing money to me. No, I just haven't been to sleep. So when you've been up like 18 hours and ain't been to sleep, your eyes will look like this. Plus, I got the sun in my face. I mean, it's directly beaming onto me. Casino works hard, man. The next movie on the list is a film called Bliss with Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek. And this guy has to figure out, is he living in the real world or he's living in the Matrix? Another Matrix type movie that is so confusing that you don't know if you in the audience don't know if he is in there, if he isn't in there, and you don't care. I've never seen two people with worse chemistry than Salma Hayek and Owen Wilson. It was god awful. They had zero chemistry in this film. It was beyond pathetic. You don't care about this film 10 minutes in, you're like, what am I watching? I don't even know. I don't even know. Yeah, it was really bad. Without a doubt, it was just god awful. And number 7, you had Infinite with Mark Wahlberg. This movie was a knockoff of so many other movies that was better than it. But you don't care about this movie. The direction is bad. It's supposed to be something very interesting. But it turns out to be like, we've seen this already. We've seen Tomorrow War was a little bit like this, but better. It's just that we've seen it done better. And plus, I just think Mark Wahlberg could need to stay within his field of movies. And this wasn't it. Definitely wasn't it. And number 6, we have Chaos Walking. Chaos Walking with Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley from Star Wars. This was a movie with an interesting topic. The problem with it is that it's like you have a good idea, you don't know how to land the plane and execute it. That's exactly what this film is. There's no women supposedly on this planet anymore. You're dealing with the future. You're on another planet where they put humans at, and they can, on this planet, you can see your thoughts. Your thoughts is on display. People can hear what's in your head and see what's in your head. You got to find a way to mask that from the rest of the world. And Tom Holland's character, he hasn't mastered how to use his, so everything he thinks is on full display. Sounds interesting, right? Then a girl lands there, and then all hell breaks loose. Sound like it could have been a really different and interesting movie that I'm like, man, I could have made this work. It had 50 million rewrites, a bad wig. It was it was terrible. It ended up being terrible in the end. I was like, oh, geez. This was in rewrite hell. And it was in rewrite hell. Number 5, we have Fast 9. Fast 9, this is probably one of the worst ones they ever made. Fast 9 was terrible, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this was another 2020 movie that didn't come out to this year, but it was god-awful. John Cena plays the bad guy, the role. It was just, it's not suited for him to play that kind of role. He was much better at being funny. Now he's Dom's brother, who Dom never mentioned he had a brother, never mentioned any of this, but very uninteresting film. Completely god-awful waste of time. Waste of him going, we need 2 position drivers. He's my brother. Family. We just need more family. Yeah, so that movie happened. That was supposed to bring people back to the movies. That wasn't gonna get it. What is that movie? Barb. It was a terrible movie. It was like Barb and something go to this. They should be go to hell. Barb and whatever, and Ann or something. Oh, this is a terrible movie. It's like a Thelma and Louise type movie where they go out of the country and it's supposed to be funny and it's not funny. None of the jokes land. It is a bland piece of crap. That's at number 4. Let me make sure. Well, we had 5 or 4. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. Yeah, that's it. Barb and Star. It should be called Barb and Star Go to Hell. This is the dumbest movie I've seen. So that's number 5. Okay, so let's count down. At number 10, we got The Matrix. Right? Then at number 9, we had an Infinite. Am I right? We had The Matrix, then Infinite. Then number 7, we had, what do we have at number 7? We had Bliss. Yeah, that's what we had. We had Bliss on there. Bliss is like number 7. Number 6 was Chaos Walking. So number 5 was definitely that. Number 5 was definitely Barb and Star Go to Hell. Now, the next 4 movies are the worst movies in God creation. Straight up. Number 4, Thunder Force. Melissa McCarthy returns in this ridiculous movie with Octavia Spencer. One of the friends got to come up with a way to make them superheroes so they can protect the neighborhood. It is completely trash, and it shows you that not everybody is supposed to be superheroes. You like Thunder Force? Millennium Mind? There's something wrong with your millennial mind if you like that movie. Coming in at number 3, Chris Rock produced and starred in this film, Spiral, Black Saw. That's what it is, aka Black Saw. So in Black Saw, it was ridiculous. Chris Rock puts himself in a starring role in something serious, and he's the detective, undercover detective who nobody trusts. His father was Samuel Jackson in the movie, and they had one good scene in there, but other than that, the movie falls flat. The execution, the delivery, it became about the traps. The whole situation was blatantly obvious on who's doing what. It was just a colluded bunch of mess. The directorial debut of whoever debuted and did this movie should be barred from ever making films. That's how bad it is. It's like, how can you mess up a Saw premise? Even Chris Rock's terrible voice couldn't get them out of this. Now, at number 2, you have a yeah, he don't have a voice for it at all. At number 2 is a movie called Karen. Another one of those Jordan Peele produced films that don't mean a damn. Karen. One white girl gets mad and then wants to attack the neighbors. It's so stereotypical and ridiculous. I'm like, man, did y'all even worry about making the movie good? Y'all just made the movie stupid. I'm like, I feel bad for white people. This movie made me feel bad for white people. That's how bad it was. I'm like, I kind of feel bad for white people right now watching this Karen movie. This is terrible. I didn't hear about Karen. That's good. You don't need to. It is awful. God awful. Karen. She doesn't like that some black neighbors move next door. What are they doing here? Don't they know this is a community? I'm a Karen. I don't like it. Oh, this is bad. Her name just happened to be Karen. It is terrible. Now, there's a lot of honorable mentions that I didn't put on the list because there's no way to put them on the list. They're either were too small, like The Unholy. You could put that on there. You put all the horror movies they came out with that they just dumped at the movie theater. It's a lot of those cheap, made-to-move, rental type movies. It's just a lot of movies that were foreign films that was not that great. Some remakes. They made a bland version of a remake. Wasn't really that great. But I wouldn't put them as worst movies of all time. Like some people didn't like Snake Eyes. I thought Snake Eyes is all right. A lot of people put that on the list. Some people put The Eternals. I didn't think The Eternals was one of the top 10 worst movies. It just wasn't outstanding. Now, the number one worst movie of 2021 is, I'm going to see if someone can guess it. I'm going to let you take a couple of minutes to guess what's the number one. Only one person got it right. It is Space Jam. Space Jam, A New Legacy, LeBron James, Space Jam. You should have known this movie would be number one. It was number one before it even came out. I knew it would be the worst thing that ever was created in life. And my God, did they live up to it. I mean, it was so bad they made Don Cheadle look bad. That's how bad it was. I'm like, he's a great actor, and they made him look bad. This film is terrible. I mean, for real. I mean, I had to sit there and judge this film. I said, all right, because I never watched it. I only saw the clip, so I said, well, since it's free, let me go ahead and watch it now, because I got to review it to see if it's. I said, oh my God, in the first 30 minutes, this movie is the worst thing I've ever seen. They tell you about the movie in the beginning, where they show LeBron, he goes through all these like propaganda stunts and all this, and he basically says, I'm not going to do all that, just to do all that in the movie. So I'm like, well, you just did all that there, then you finna do it again in the movie. It was one big promotional prop for HBO Max and all the other cartoon characters they got on HBO Max. LeBron James got to go in there, and he's trying to force his kid to like basketball. And he goes into the machine to play, and his son basically gets trapped into this thing where this Don Cheadle controls everything, and he wants LeBron to join his ultimate team. LeBron don't, so he sends him to the rejects, which is the Toons, where LeBron turns into a Toon because his acting is so bad. They got to get emotion out of him using the animation. So it just saves time to say we could just do the animation with LeBron, and just for when he turns back human, then we could use him again, because he's basically useless. We'll just use his voice. So he basically did voice work. They've taken out characters in there that you did like because of political mumbo jumbo. But the script was just terrible, and just god awful. Tom and Jerry was better than this movie. And Tom and Jerry was god awful. It would have made this list if it wasn't a kids movie. If it wasn't rated G, I would have just threw Tom and Jerry in this list, because Tom and Jerry is awful. I mean, awful. But my thing is, you would think he's playing to win a game, right? His son doesn't play. You would think that he's playing to free his son. He should have said, let the son make his choice to play. And all of this stuff. He's like, I respect you now, son. It could have been done a lot better. It was just god awful. It was a mess. They went in there for a money grab. They used the name and just tried to say we'll make a movie around it, but people gonna come rush and see it because it's Space Jam 2. It didn't happen. It was a damn Rich Paul hustle move, and Mav Carter and all these other idiots that put this together, their brain trust, and that's why it came out and flopped the way it did. Flopped like a fish. Oh, now they got some series on BET, a 5-part series, Clutch Academy. Rich Paul is the greatest thing. And I'm like, he's sitting there like, all right, we finna showcase the life of Rich Paul. Who the hell is this dude? He's LeBron's buddy. He's LeBron's minion. That's all he is. That's all he ever been. Oh, yeah, I'm part of the TVA now. He's part of the TVA. Well, I'm probably going to do Cobra Kai sometime today or tomorrow. I want to make sure everybody's seen it, which now they have. So now I can go out and do my review on it. But yeah, so that's my top 10 worst movies, our top 10 best movies. So I'm going to get out of here and get some sleep. Sino is out.